So, good evening, everybody. How are you doing? It is the 7th of February, 2022. As I was saying before we went live in the little lobby area, the year is flying by. I don't know where it's going, but we've got to start making the most of it. We're going to be covering a lot tonight on this live broadcast. If you're here live on Facebook, thank you so much. I was just giving people a shout out then. People like Alex and Matthew and Rich and David and Josh and Natalie and Sarah and Grace and Chris and Jill and everyone else. I'm sorry for missing your comments who's joining us live on Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching on the replay or you're listening on the Acts on This TV audio experience on iTunes or Spotify or Stitcher or wherever you listen to it, thank you. Do come and join us live one Monday, though. We do this every Monday night, 9 p.m. Till 10 p.m. Facebook.com/Acts on This TV. Got loads to cover tonight. I want to focus a lot of tonight, though, on mindset, psychology, just in general, as well as in the acting industry, and really sort of developing the tenacity to continue when you feel like just giving up. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this time of year. You know, it's February. You know, obviously Christmas is a distant memory now. January is a pretty depressing month for a lot of people. It's still very cold here in the UK. It's still quite dark at night. You know, it's not the most inspiring environment. But I've had more emails over the last week, genuinely, than I think I've had in a long time, from actors who have just had enough of this industry. Like, they've just been like, I've been slogging away at this for 5 years, 10 years, still not where I want to be. And they're just like, they've just had enough, and they're thinking of sort of quitting or maybe walking away. I've been in that position a few times over the last 25 years since I've been in this industry, since I was like 15. I've wanted to sort of walk away quite a few times. I've never really had it in me to do it, but I do know how you feel where you're just like, oh, screw this. Like, I've just been battered enough times, or I've had just one too many no's, where I feel like just calling it a day for a bit. And you know what? When you get to that point, sometimes actually walking away for a little bit, you know, not forever, you know, just have a few weeks off or whatever, can be really, really good. And you can come back with more vigor and more determination and just sort of like have a little reset where you focus on other things in your life, because there is more to life than just the acting industry, believe it or not. I know sometimes it feels like that's all there is out there, particularly if you're in the echo chamber of Twitter and all you do is follow actors. You will think that every actor by yourself is working, and I promise you that is absolutely not the case. And I'm going to be running a session for members of Acts on This.tv tomorrow night with a fantastic actor. I'm going to play some clips out tonight from the last time I interviewed him. A guy called Hitchen. You'll see him starring in Trigger Point right now. He was in 4 Lives. He starred as the lead in Ken Loach's BAFTA-winning film, Sorry We Missed You. An incredible actor, really, really like so switched on as well to mindset and psychology. We're going to be covering this a lot tomorrow night. And he quit the acting industry 5 times. Like 5 times. He was a plumber. He literally went, I'm done. I'm absolutely going. You know, in the 5th time, he was like, this is it forever. And then he ended up getting dragged back into the industry. It's almost like the industry wouldn't let him go. And sometimes, you know, there is power in just walking away for a little bit. And there's also power, you know what, in saying no to some things as well. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night. He said no initially to a role in Trigger Point. You know, it's a huge drama right now on ITV. Let me know if you're watching it. And through saying no, I think it was almost like the producers were like, holy shit, like, we want him even more now. And then they offered him a different role. So we're going to cover that tomorrow night as well. But let us know how you are feeling, basically, right now in this industry. Are you in love with it? Do you hate it? You know, because we all go through that with the acting industry. I know that myself, 100%. Emma says she's trying to be optimistic. It seems everyone wants out of licensing to play down these days. Okay, so Ruby, Emma's daughter, is a lot younger, so you're seeing people go for over 16-year-olds, so they don't need the licensing to get them to play younger. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, absolutely. You know, it's that's just something to contend with when you're younger. Good news is for Ruby, she's going to get older, so that can be her doing that one day as well. Nick says the year's flying by because you're enjoying yourself far too much, Ross. Makes us wonder what on earth you get up to between webinars. Oh, Nick, if only you knew. No, you know what, mate? I just work. I've got, honestly, like, struggled today a bit as well. I've got a sore tonsil just on one side. Like, my throat's killing me. I don't know why. And then, you know, you start mucking with it, and I was, like, sticking my tongue out in the mirror, and I was starting, like, poke it a bit and going, what's up with it? Can I see anything, wrong with it? Just makes it worse, doesn't it? So I've not had a lot of fun today, but normally, Nick, I have quite a lot of fun, but I just work a lot as well, mate. Unfortunately, 12-hour days for this kid. Alex said I might just follow Chris's steps and just walk away so that it will bring me a job like it did for him. Well, you know what? So people know what we mean by this. Let me play a little clip of The first time I interviewed Chris Hitchen, I brought Chris Hitchen into my kitchen, and we sat down and we had a brew, and I'm going to start doing more of these. These are exclusive interviews for members of ActsOnThis.tv, so if you're not a member, come and get your membership. I'm going to give you so much content this year, and you will get to join live mastermind sessions on Zoom every single week with the biggest actors, agents, casting directors, writers, producers, and directors in TV. But listen to this little clip from Chris, where he is talking about a period in his life where he'd given up again. And like I say, he was a plumber. So he's used to being self-employed, and that's actually paid dividends in his acting career because he doesn't panic when he's kind of out of work. You know, that's something that all self-employed people have to deal with. But listen to this. This is an interesting little story about how he got a job completely by accident, really through giving as opposed to taking, you know, from the industry or, you know, from other people. It's quite an interesting story, though. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Sometimes you're in love with acting, sometimes you hate it. And at that point,
all the time, yeah.
I was like, you're an evil bastard. I have so done with you now. That is it. You can get out of my life. So I walked away from it. And then I got told to go to another agency in London. So I went down to London, met another agency, ended up signing up with them. And then they were sending me for jobs, and the jobs just weren't right. They were a lot of RP jobs, stagey jobs, stuff like that. And I was like, God, that's not me. I just want to strangle somebody on the floor and spit in the face. What are you doing?
I'm from Swinton, mate.
I'm from Swinton,
why are you giving me the RP jobs?
Exactly. So not that I can do RP, but you know, it's just it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Those kind of jobs don't fit. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier. You know, you've got to try and find your mode, your hook.
Know yourself.
What you're doing. Yeah. So I binned them. So I left them, and then that was it. It was agentless altogether then. And it was coming up to winter, and Mike rung me.
Michael Jackson?
Mike Jackson again rung me. And
just out of the blue?
Yeah.
See, this again, you're being dragged in. He's giving up a fifth time. Actors, listen,
it's him again.
If you want to give up, like, don't give up, or at least go and try and get in touch with Michael Jackson, because he'll keep you in the game.
I know. He said, the gas fire's on the blink at our house, can you come and have a look at it? And I was like, right.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And I'm thinking, Jesus, he lives miles away. I mean, he lives over like Ale Barnes, don't he? You know. And don't forget, at this time, I didn't have an agent. I was done with acting, so I wasn't even going there to try and score a job. I had no ulterior motive for going to the house other than giving a shit about this person's welfare. That was it. I'd rung Mike just to ask him if the fire was all right, and he turned around and said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "Nothing, man." He said, "Do you want to come in for an audition for this McDonald's advert?" And I went, "Yeah, all right." Turned up and ended up getting the job. So I ended up bagging a job while I wasn't even just off a phone call. I wasn't even with anybody.
Michael Jackson again.
And
that'll be a few grand from McDonald's advert. And then obviously the agent.
Oh no, I got repeat fees. It got shown all over the world. They were brilliant. They loved it.
Boom. Honestly, Chris is a freaking legend. He's so funny. But there you go. I mean, that was just that was the fifth time he decided to quit the acting industry. Back to being a plumber. Michael Jackson, not the king of pop, the king of casting. A great commercial casting director. Just basically phoned him to get some help with his gas fire, and ended up then eventually giving an audition for a McDonald's advert, and Chris ended up getting paid a lot of money for that. Thousands and thousands of pounds. Completely by accident, at a time where he'd completely in his head given up on the acting industry, full stop for a fifth time. Obviously, after that, he ended up going on to star in Ken Loach's Sorry We Missed You. That completely changed the game for him. And since then, he's never really stopped working, but he had walked away multiple times. And I spoke to him today because we're going to do a session tomorrow live on Zoom for actors in the ActsOnThis.tv community, for members of the community. And he's, you know, like right now he's back to, you know, kind of auditioning again and doing kind of, you know, normal stuff. Yes, he's, you know, auditioning for massive projects. But there's some really interesting stories he's going to tell you about tomorrow night that have happened to him over the last couple of years, whilst he's been perceived to be at the top of the game. But there's still been, you know, struggles and stuff that he's faced within his own life that we're going to be covering. One moment where he was on a big Netflix show and he said, "Mate, I just actually like broke down into tears." I'm not going to tell you why. Actually, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to basically tune in tomorrow night for why that happened. It was actually a pretty good reason. As in a positive reason. He wasn't breaking down crying because like he was completely depressed and ruined. there was a bit of a positive spin on that moment of his life. But even through the pandemic, he was with Troika, the agency that basically, I don't know if it collapsed or what. I don't know the story behind it, but it disbanded. It was no more. And Chris ended up, his agent who worked at Troika ended up having to move, and I think then he took Chris to Conway Van Gelder Grant with him. Proper stressful kind of times. Like, just because you're working on big projects doesn't mean you have it easy all the time. It's still very taxing mentally. On your mindset and your psychology, and we're going to talk all about it tomorrow. I'm also doing a talk next Saturday as well for people who are going to... Is anyone going to be at Actors Pro Expo? It used to be called Surviving Actors. It's back this year as an in-person and online event, Saturday the 12th of February. At 3:30, I think it is. I'm going to be doing a talk all about mindset as well and positive psychology at that. I'll give you the details of that sort of in 20 minutes or so when we get through what I want to get through. Because I'd love you to go and get a ticket and sell that session out for me so I don't look like an absolute dweeb who no one wants to come and see. I'm going to be talking about science-backed positive psychology that I swear if you implement will change your life. So it will be a powerful session. But yeah, I'll give you the details of that. If you're going, let me know in the chat right now though. So when it comes to psychology and mindset, I'm just going to read the comments. Let me know what it is you struggle with the most. Because I would really, really like to know, because then I can tailor a lot more content this year around it. Like I say, I've had more emails in the last week than I've had for a long time. Probably, do you know what? More than I can really remember having all at once from people who have just had enough. And these are good people as well, who I know are like really good actors and actresses as well. There was a member of the community on Saturday at our monthly meetup who was having a really, really difficult time, and she's a great actor. I just feel like maybe it's the time of the year, I don't know, maybe people have got that seasonal affective disorder where they just feel a bit sad, and hopefully as the nights get lighter and the sun comes out, people will all feel a little bit more optimistic. But let us know, what's the one thing, if there was one thing that you struggle with most when it comes to psychology and mindset around this industry, what is it? Is it maybe like confidence to put yourself out there? Is it the tenacity in developing a thick skin to be able to handle the rejection? Is it the discipline? Around making sure that you do something every day towards your career? Complacency, a little bit of I don't know. We can all get a little bit sort of comfortable, can't we? And we just sort of coast along as opposed to really, getting in our stretch zone and taking massive action. Let us know what it is that you struggle with the most, and we'll have a little chat about it tonight. I also want to play you some clips as well of last week's mastermind session that we did for members of Acts on This with Acts on This member / superstar now, David Carpenter, only an 18-year-old lad, never been to drama school in his life, just hustled his ass off, joined this community 18 months ago, having no experience and just doesn't understand the industry at all. Now, 18 months later, because he acted on everything that we brought to him on Acts on This with all the weekly mastermind sessions and all the advice he got from our guests, he's now starring as a character called Connor Townsend, a main role, like a leading role in ITV's The Bay in all 6 episodes. We did a session with him last week where he walked us through every step of the way of what he did, and I showed like the emails he sent to get his agent, his self-tape for The Bay, how he got that audition, absolutely everything. So ultimately, no one can say he was lucky. You see the work that he put in, and I want you guys to be able to replicate that as well. So I'm going to play a little clip out of that in a second. But I just want to know what people have struggled with the most. Matt's got here that he's been struggling recently with anxiety around recovering from the pandemic. I mean, it's been such a crazy time for us all, hasn't it? As well, life's difficult at the best of times. Throw in 2 years of lockdown and uncertainty and fear. It's going to take its toll on absolutely everybody. But as Grace says there, Matt, you're not alone, mate. I think everybody's felt that, myself included. It's been really weird getting back into life. I think if I hadn't actually ended up with COVID, which I didn't want, but I got it, I think I'd still struggle with it now. Now I've had it, and I feel, maybe it's naive, but I feel a bit immune right now because I only had it at Christmas. I'm like, okay, I should be pretty safe. I'm definitely out there a lot more than I have been, but I was so kind of like, I don't know, just on edge all the time when I was out, thinking, don't get close to anybody. Oh, they're coughing over there. Oh, my God. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. It's been hard the last couple of years. Definitely. Evening, Evie, how you doing? So let's see what people are saying about what they struggle with. Kate says she watched Chris in Sorry We Missed You. Great piece. Oh, it's brilliant, wasn't it? Brilliant story. Definitely. Nat's going to be at Actors Pro Expo virtually. Quite a few people are going to be there. Please book into my session so I'm not completely on my own. I've got to sell it out. If I can be popular, then they'll maybe, I don't know, help me market acts on this. I don't get paid for that session, by the way. I think I'm doing it in exchange of them sending an email out to their mail list about acts on this. So you'll pay for the session. I think it's about £8, but I don't get paid, just for transparency there. So Grace deals with nerves. It says nerves gets me every time, and confidence in my ability. So nerves come from lack of self-belief and a lack of sort of confidence, I guess, Grace. We can talk about how you can authentically cultivate confidence tonight. I think society lies to people and will tell you nonsense things like people are born with confidence, and I don't think they are at all. I think we're all born relatively equal. I think there's a lot of nurture around, the look of the draw of who our parents are and our friends are and stuff like that. Depending, on that circumstance, that'll very much either give you or rob you of confidence. But I think anybody, regardless of whether you think you're introverted, extroverted, whatever, can develop authentic confidence. Like, you can manufacture it authentically without faking it till you make it. I think that's very bad advice. Faking it till you make it is rubbish advice, basically. There's a difference between believing in yourself and faking stuff. But we can talk about that in a second, definitely. Indra thinks everyone's just going to hate him. Indra, I don't know why you would think that, mate. No one hates you. Do you mean like they're just not going to like your audition or something like that? Confidence for Kelly. Rejections down there. Ian, how you doing, mate? Comparison for Jill. Comparison. Usually it's confidence to email people for Sarah. Never sure if the email is right or if using hi other than hello. Oh my God. Sarah, there's overthinking and there's freaking overthinking there. You're worried about whether you should use hi or hello in your email. Please don't worry about that. Don't worry. I mean, God, that is absolutely not a thing, right? Don't worry about that. Nicole, how you doing? So you struggle with the in-betweenness of auditions and jobs and nerves. Alex is just struggling to get seen. Do you think that's anything to do with how, I don't know, how much of yourself you're putting out there, Alex, or like how, proactive you're being, or are you scared to get in touch with someone you've already been in touch with because you think you're being a pest and all this sort of limiting nonsense that people struggle with? Nick says he often feels he doesn't fit most character types. What's Nadia saying? Self-sabotage. Isn't it interesting? All this is as well, guys, is just the human condition. There's nothing wrong with anybody. A lot of people as well, when they feel that they think when they feel these things, I hear people saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is actually doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your brain's absolutely designed to protect you and to stop you from putting yourself in positions where you could get hurt or you could get embarrassed or, you could take a financial loss or anything at all like that. So whenever you have an idea to do something or you really want to do something, your brain within 5 seconds will try and start talking you out of it to try and protect you. It's like this little preservation officer in your head that goes, Alex, don't send that email. Or Sarah, wasn't it? Yeah, Sarah, don't put hi in your email or hello. In fact, just don't send an email, Sarah. And sometimes you need to whisper back and go, thanks ever so much for trying to look after me, but you know what? Like, I'm going to die one day and I'll regret it if I don't at least try and live my life. So you've got to befriend that little voice. That's like, and be kind to it, but you've got to, just sort of push through anyway. Kate suffers with imposter syndrome. Kate, you know what? Do you know what I'd love anyone here who suffers with imposter syndrome to do? To embrace it and actually invite more of it into their life. If you look at it this way, right? It's how I have framed imposter syndrome over the years. The more I feel it, the bigger my ideas are, the more I am striving, the more I am after in life. Can you imagine if you never felt imposter syndrome? Holy shit, your life would be so dull because you would be doing the most comfortable things day in, day out, and you would never be growing or achieving anything more than what you've already achieved. So for me, I think everybody, honestly, I think imposter syndrome has been labeled as a negative. I think jealousy has been labelled a negative, and I would use that as a positive as well. If you're jealous of someone in this industry, it's because you want what they have. And if you are working towards achieving that, then you are on the right path. So jealousy can be a real great barometer to prove to yourself that you're moving in the right direction of what you want. I am not jealous of Lewis Hamilton as a Formula One driver. I have no interest in, driving a Formula One car. Yet if I'm jealous of someone like Ricky Gervais, because I'm like, holy shit, I would love to have a sitcom like Afterlife on Netflix that I starred in. And if I was writing a sitcom in that vein, which might be, then I'm doing the right thing, aren't I? I'm moving towards, what it is that I want. So jealousy is a really good thing. And imposter syndrome is great because if you didn't feel it, you would just be the most boring, dull, safe person ever. So please use that as like a little badge of going, oh, I feel imposter syndrome. Great. That means you're doing something right, Kate. So let's go for more of that this year, 100%. Let's see what else is going on down here. I'm always emailing, says Alex, when I have new stuff. Yeah, and Alex, you are being proactive, mate, as well. I think for you, it's just a matter of patience, dude. Developing that tenacity. You are. I do see you working hard, mate, and you're filming new stuff and things like that. I think it's just a matter of time for you. 100%. I think it is for quite a few people in our community as well, I see a lot of you doing the right things. You're really talented. You're rinsing and repeating stuff, but but you just need to develop more of that patience. And I know it's so hard because I want things yesterday. I know what that's like. I'm one of the most impatient people ever. But for me, it's just like if I just have an unshakable faith in the universe of going, if I keep working and doing the right things and rinsing and repeating them, at some point it will pay off. It has done in everything so far in my life. Some of those things have taken 8 years to get right. Like literally in my life. Personal life, honestly, I stayed single. I've just recently got in a new relationship like last November. So it's like 3 months old, literally to the day almost. I was single for 8 years before that, going, I can't get this relationship thing right. And I've just got to be patient that if I want someone with these attributes, if I become those attributes myself, I will attract someone or at least cross paths with someone who's on the same wavelength as me. Now, it took 8 years. And when I saw this person, I was like, right, I'm probably not going to let this just pass right now. I'm going for that. It was difficult because she didn't want anything to do with it at the start. But all's well that ends well, I hope. But sometimes you've got to be patient, And I've been in the acting game. What will it be now? It's probably 25 years, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be. And when you look at other people's careers who've been in the industry 25 years, we're talking some like Hollywood greats who have been in the industry 25 years, and you go, oh my God, yeah, they've been around over 2 decades and they've won the BAFTAs and Oscars and all this sort of stuff. And I go, well, I've been in 25 years and, the roles I'm getting are like, 2 episodes. Yes, in a good drama, but I'm not even, the co-star yet, I'm just sort of like, the supporting characters who gets 2 or 3 episodes in a show. So I've got so far to go. But I'm just being patient. You know what? It's a forever game. Time is going to pass anyway. You might as well do something, or at least try and achieve what you want whilst time's going to pass. Because what's the alternative? You sit there and just let time pass anyway. So patience for a lot of people in this community, I think, is going to be key in 2022. Paul, how are you, mate? Are you doing another podcast with Isabel Steele? Isabel Steele's dad cuts my hair every other week, Paul. And I've been talking to Izzy quite a bit recently. So I think we will probably definitely have Isabel on at some point again this year, definitely, to talk about her career and her experience. Now she's been in Emmerdale, God knows how many years now. It seems to have flown by, but it's got to be like, what is it now, like 5-6 years, something like that. Alex says he's just holding on to the advice from Emma Sylvester when she said it's right script, right time. That was good advice. So Emma Sylvester is a casting director at BBC In-House. She was the casting associate for Holby. Obviously that's finished now, but she's also the casting director for Doctors. And rather than people saying like right place, right time, which I think is a thing in the industry without a doubt, she said, listen, it's right script, right time. And that was a nicer way of thinking about it, really, because it's like, what, obviously someone does have to write a script out there for, that there's a character in it that you just happen to be right for, which is why I'm a big advocate of actors creating their own work and writing their own scripts, because you don't have to wait for someone else to do that for you. But it is very often that right script, right time, and you will get something that will pop up, I promise you, where you go, fucking hell, this could have just been written for me. It's happened to me twice, without putting a downer on it. I got down to the last 2 twice, and I still didn't get it, but it still opened doors, and I have faith that it will happen a 3rd time, and, lightning strikes 3 times, I'll get it next time. Ben says, 8 years, try 20, then call me. Same with acting, really. What do you mean, the single life, Ben? Or do you mean, or is that the acting thing for 20 years? I was talking single life for 8 years. 20 years, man. Well, look, this is the year, then, isn't it? This is the year. That's got to happen, without a doubt, definitely. Perfectionism is something that is a struggle for Evie. It stunts my movement at times, but pushing past that this year. Yeah, it's sort of like I struggle with that as well, Evie, to be honest. And I found it's created bottlenecks in loads of areas of my life when I've been too perfectionist on things. One was certainly in this business, and that's on this.tv. I would want to do everything myself. I'd want to edit every video, create every graphic, because I felt if I did it, it'll be like a 10 out of 10. And of course it never is anyway. But it gets to a point where this community grew so big. I mean, it's massive now. I was like, I need other people to be able to do stuff. And if I can put out 5 times as much content at a 7 out of 10, as opposed to just one piece of content at a 10 out of 10, then there's going to be 5 times as many people are going to see that content. Actors are hopefully going to, be impressed by it. Still, a 7 out of 10 is good. They'll get involved in this community, and that's going to be way more beneficial for everybody involved, as opposed to just that one piece of content that's a 10. Sometimes having 5 7s is well better than 1 10. So that was definitely something I learned, without a doubt. What is good enough. There's certain things you don't want to compromise on. Like a special thing now and again. But it's certainly okay to, put more content out that's a 7 and 8 out of 10 than it is just like the once in a blue moon content that you might feel is a 9 or a 10. So that is something that I've definitely struggled with as well. And I also think, we kid ourselves about perfectionism, because I also don't think to a certain extent you can perfect anything until it's out there and the audience has almost given you feedback on it, because you just don't know. It might be perfect for you, but you put it out and then you go, oh God, I spent all this time on this thing and people didn't like it. It didn't resonate with people. Whereas if you put something out as a minimal viable, product, this is why Ricky Gervais, like this week, put tickets out for a really intimate gig that sold out in a minute, where he's testing out new material. This is what comedians do. So they go out and they tell 100 jokes in a night at a tiny little, dive bar in London. They see what gets the laughs. And then out of those 100 jokes, there might be 15 that get laughs that are just like, belly laughs, everyone's loving it. And then they take those 15 jokes and then they rinse and repeat the thing. So next time they go with those 15 jokes plus another 100 new ones. And then it might be just 15 out of that new 100 that get all the laughs. So now they've got 30 jokes that they know guaranteed laughs. So by the time they go on stage at their real shows, they know they're going to get a laugh at every single joke, because they've got 60 from these 4 test shows that they did that are guaranteed crowd pleasers. Now, if they stayed at home writing their jokes themselves, perfecting them, I've got to perfect it, they'd never know what was actually going to work anyway. So I don't think you can perfect anything really until you've put it out there initially, whether that's a script, a short film that you might eventually turn into a feature film, or just whatever it is, just something, a piece of theatre or something. Until you show it people, I don't think you can perfect it with your own eyes. You need other people to actually take a look at it. So I think we can kid ourselves. I've done that as well. We can kid ourselves a lot that, I can't put this out until it's perfect. Well, until you put it out, you can't perfect it. So sometimes this year we just got to, put more stuff out. Josh said it took me till I was 21 to get my first girlfriend. We're talking about relationships tonight. I love it. And 3 years together this year. Nice. Josh, you just hit the jackpot then. So you with the first girl. I mean, mate, that's cracking. Josh, does that mean that you've never been through heartbreak? I don't want you to go through it. I think anyone who has, though, you'll agree with me. One, it's the worst thing you'll ever go through in your life. It feels like it's just like the worst. But I tell you what, as an emotional unlock for your acting career, it's fucking priceless. I remember when I was going through it and I had a really big audition where I had to get really emotional, and I used it. I was so grateful for it at the time as well. I was like, oh, thanks so much for breaking up with me, because I've just nailed this audition. But Josh, I don't want you to go through that, mate. It's horrible. It's the worst, but it does give you an emotional unlock that you can use in your work. Every emotional event in your life will make you a better actor. I promise you that. That is something that I have absolutely experienced in my life, and I'm talking like the worst things as well. Like you don't want to go, oh, every cloud. But some of the worst things I would never have known. Don't want to get depressive here, but I would never have known how to play a scene where you find out a relative has died. Had a relative not died, and that might sound a bit melancholy and a bit cruel, but like you would normally think if I'd got the script before I'd experienced that, I'd have played it really obviously, and I just like burst into tears or something and just had a bit of a meltdown. Whereas when that happens in real life, the way I reacted to it was almost stunned silence, and just like I just walked out of the house, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have known how to play that otherwise. So like bad times and good times in your life, if you're an actor, you can still use them. We still don't want the bad times, but you might as well, you Might as well get something out of them, aren't you? Let's have a look. Josh says, Grace says, Josh, exactly the same here. How funny. Not the TV part yet. What's that? Is everyone just getting together with people at 21 and then just living happily ever after? Because I've been playing the love game wrong, if that's the case. I've just, never got it right. Until now. Now I think it's pretty good. This is the healthiest relationship I think I've ever been in. Josh also says, I literally gave up trying to find a relationship and then it just happened. Freaking hell. Right. And this happens in the acting industry. You're going to hear from Chris again tomorrow how that happened in his career. Literally, when you stop... It's such backwards advice, isn't it? Because I'm so Mr. Proactive. But sometimes, if you're being proactive, and you have been, and you've been slogging your guts out for 12 months non-stop, and nothing's been hitting home, I've seen it so many times, I've experienced it myself, where you go, right, I'm just walking away for a couple of weeks, and you do nothing, and suddenly the opportunities just come to you. And I don't know how that works, like, metaphysically, or like, it's a bit woo-woo and a bit The Secret, innit, manifestation, but sometimes I'm like, just kind of works. Just sometimes you've got to allow it in as opposed to just chasing it. It's crazy. But patience, it comes back to patience again. Patience. And Jill there says 6 years for my first unpaid student film to Emmerdale Day Player. Jill, boom. But you know what? That's 6 years incredibly well spent. So by the time you went on Emmerdale, which I saw the screenshots of, by the way, I didn't tune in, but I will try and, if you've got it on your show reel, I would definitely want to watch it. Don't have time to do anything bar this at the moment. Don't watch any TV. That's something my girlfriend is trying to make me do more of, and I'm like, I just can't find the time. But by that 6 years, by the time you got on set, I bet you just crushed it, didn't you? You just like felt so ready, and then that will have made you have a great performance, which will lead to your next job and your next job and your next job, and hopefully in another 6 years' time, Jill, you'll be starring in Emmerdale or something, even bigger. So it just takes, again, just time, patience and hard work makes you dangerous. It's like, makes you so freaking dangerous in this industry because actors either have one or the other. They're very patient, they put no work in, or they put loads of work in, but they're not patient enough and they give up. And when you marry those two things together, freaking hell, it just makes you invincible. And Ben said single for 20 years, but he's loving it. Ben is single. He's still ready to mingle, I reckon, though. So any suitable suitors, Ben, you see in the chat tonight, feel free to use this as a virtual Tinder session. Maybe you like the look of Jill. I'm only joking, Jill. You look very happily married in your profile picture. But yeah, maybe we should do like an act on this actors dating site. Not a site, but like maybe we'll do. What about if I did like a speed dating thing in real life for actors? Who's up for that? How many single people have we got in the community? That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? We should definitely maybe do that at 53.2 in Manchester or something like that. Have a little acting singles night. I'd well be up for that. Not for me. I'd be up for hosting it. Obviously, I'm now taken. Right, let's see what else is going on. I've still got to play so many videos out. I'm just having a nice time having a chat tonight. Carrie Ann, how you doing? Couldn't read your name. It's been a while. Good to hear your voice, she says. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Let's have a look. I'm sorry I'm missing so many bloody comments. I think people are just agreeing at the moment. I'm at the point where people are agreeing with the good and bad things in your life still make you a better actor. Definitely. And we don't want you to lose your girlfriend, Josh. He said, if I lose my girlfriend, it will break me. She's the world. Josh's girlfriend, is she watching, Josh? Josh's girlfriend, please don't leave him. He's a TV star now. He's had his first TV job. So if you leave him and then he gets really famous, you'll be devastated. So stay with Josh. It'll be best for both of you. Everyone's talking relationships in the chat right now. This has just moved away from acting and just relationships. Sarah says, I got with my boyfriend when I was 16 and he was 18, and it's 4 years in March. Everyone's just so happily in relationships. Good for you all. That's amazing. Definitely. I'm going to have to skip some comments. I'm going to have to just move down at the bottom. See what's going on. And Paul says, my theory on the walk away is the people you hear going into the last audition, they gave up trying to impress and just gave a solid and grounded real performance, and as a result gave the best audition. Yeah, when people start, it's a real fine line, isn't it? Because it's not that you don't want it or you stop caring. But I've definitely got to the point in my life where I've been so happy with other things in my life. I've gone, you know what, this audition, yeah, I want it, but I'm not. If I don't get it, I'm not bothered in a positive way. Not like I'm not bothered about it. I put all the work in, I put the prep in, I go and do absolutely my best. But if I don't get it, I don't really care. And it's those auditions that I get, because you probably are just calmer, and you just do dial in the performance and give a better performance, because it isn't your everything. And it's why I think everyone in the acting industry needs something else outside of it that makes them happy. And if you've not got that, I really would urge everybody to find it. And you might say, oh, well, there's nothing else that I like. I don't believe you. I just don't think you've tasted enough. I use that ice cream analogy all the time. I wouldn't have known that strawberry ice cream was my favorite if I'd have stopped tasting ice cream at vanilla. Vanilla would have been my favorite. And I've gone, but I don't like any other flavor. Have you tried any? No, here's strawberry. Oh, I like that better. So sometimes you've got to taste different things. And in the same industry, though, you could be an editor. You could be a sound person, a color grader. You might want to produce some stuff or try writing. You've got to have something else that isn't just acting, because nobody, I don't care how good you are, is employed all the time or could possibly, I think, just be happy not having experienced anything else in life anyway. It's crazy, isn't it, how many amazing, beautiful things there are out there in the world. There's probably millions. And we've owned in on like one and gone, acting is my life. And that's fine, because if that's what you're passionate about, that's what you're passionate about. But I'd hate to get through my life living the same year for 75 years and even calling that a life, because I'm like, well, I've not done anything new. I've just basically pursued the same thing, my entire... I don't think in 75 years I'll be doing Monday night broadcasts, to be honest. I've done one every Monday night, probably for the past 7 or 8 years. But I don't think in maybe another 8 years I'll be doing a Monday night broadcast on Facebook, because I would hope I've found something else in the industry to do, and maybe I'm not, maybe, I don't know, maybe, I think Act on This will definitely be around. I'm not ever giving up on that. I just love the community so much, but I'm sure I'll be communicating with you guys through a different medium, probably from a hologram in your front room, and we'll all be doing things that are, a bit different. I'm not going to be doing the same thing over and over again and just, calling that a life, really. Let's have a look. Maya, how you doing? It says, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, teaches you... What's this? Teaches you loads of good stuff. Just read it. I feel on fire. Though had my some down periods lately. This really helped. Yeah, it's a great book. It's called Think and Grow Rich. It's a fantastic book. It's written so charmingly, because it was written so many years ago. It's like an oldie worldy language. But yeah, there's some advice in there from some of the the greatest people to ever have lived. Ultimately, defining success and what it really means to succeed and how you do succeed. And success has been the same for hundreds of years. Yes, it's been achieving different things, but the way that you are successful in anything remains the same. Working with other people, on a common goal, surrounding yourself with positive people who charge you up, being part of mastermind groups similar to even what we've got going on right now here tonight, being part of communities like Acts on This, finding mentors, work ethic, hanging in there, tenacity. Success is achieved in the same way as it has been probably since time began. So it's a good book. That I would recommend that 100%. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. Check it out. I'm going to keep looking at your comments, but I should probably play some more videos. I want to just play just a 2-minute clip of what you might have missed if you are not a member of actsonthis.tv, or if you didn't join our mastermind session last week with Star of the Bay, Mr. David Carpenter. If you go over to the preview section on actsonthis.tv, you'll find it here, a little 2-minute preview I'm going to play out for you now. If you are a member, sorry for those on the audio experience, you won't see this, but I'm going into the members area on actsonthis.tv, click into your membership, and the full 2.5-hour replay is at the top there, our latest 5 features, obviously along with everything else we've been doing recently. There's hundreds of hours worth of advice in here from the biggest names in the game. What an incredible story this guy has, though, that we went through. Like I say, he joined actsonthis.tv 18 months ago, didn't have a clue what he was doing. Through joining our weekly mastermind sessions, basically learned everything about the industry, implemented it all, landed an agent, landed an audition with Kelly Valentine Hendry for The Bay, self-taped for it, got a recall, smashed it, stars in every single episode now. We play out in this footage I'm going to show you now, like in this broadcast, we play out everything, the emails that he sent to casting directors, to agents, how he got his agent, his self-tape, showreel footage that he shot. Literally, I take you through every single step this guy took in order to land this role so that people can implement that in their own career, and can replicate that. Here's a little mashup of just what you missed. And if you want to access the full 2.5 hour session, if you remember, it's in there for you right now. If not, get to actonthis.tv, get your membership. This session alone could change your career, like seriously. But here's a little bit what you missed. Act on This member turned superstar, currently starring in ITV's flagship drama The Bay as Connor Townsend. It's David Carpenter. David, how amazing is this? Who the hell is David Carpenter? Who's this guy everyone's banging on about?
And then that's when I found Act on This TV, and that was 2019, I think. I remember the first night watching the first podcast on here, and I was absolutely blown away. I was like, wow, this is it.
We're basically going to give you guys a blueprint. It's a bold statement, isn't it? But it is true. Of how to go from a complete unknown to TV series regular in record time. Let's just watch. I think this has got to be. Was this one of your first scenes?
You're bound to be nervous. I know I am.
I'm not nervous.
He so is.
Shut up, you.
Guys, I know it's a big change. New town, new school, new everything. I'm just saying it's only natural.
Mum, stop!
How did you nail your casting type?
I sort of started off with what do I really like to watch and what can I actually see myself in.
So we've got some footage, we've got some first attempts at some headshots, and then we're going to look at the agent hunt. So initially your email was on the 25th of the 4th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 days later on the 28th, you get that.
One of the first questions she asked me was, so, what have you been watching, David? And I was like, right, so I've been watching this, and this, because I knew it was going to come up.
How did you know it was going to come up?
Because I watched a lot of podcasts. And
did you listen to the one with Alex?
Yes.
So you'd probably
100%.
written to Kelly 3 times by this point. I've only got one of your emails there. Now, you don't get a direct reply from Kelly's office, but this comes through from Alex. So I put in lightning strikes, and check this out. This is the 7th of January. We're going to play your actual self-tape in a second.
How did you navigate yourself and obviously sort of hold your own with more recognized actors on set?
I think you just realize that these people are just normal people. Keep going, be patient, and like we've said a million times, enjoy the process because you will make it.
Actonthis.tv. Seriously, get a membership if you've not got one just for that. That it's worth its freaking weight in gold. You saw there just in that trailer how much detail we go into on that chat. And if you were on that chat and you've already seen it or you've watched the replay, do let me know in the comments what you thought of it, what your biggest takeaway was. If you're going to act on it this week and maybe put some of the stuff that David talks about into action this week. Grace has such a great session. I need to rewatch it. Honestly, it's just so good, isn't it? I buzz off the fact that I just hope we can do this more and more and more, where we bring members on to actually host sessions with me. Those people who have basically sat on sessions for 12 months, 18 months, acted on the information, landed big series regular roles, and then come back and tell us all about it and how they did it. It's just amazing to see it go full circle. It's literally my favourite freaking thing. So do go and check it out. Actonthis.tv if you want to see that. And we do this every single week. If you're new to this broadcast, you've never seen me do this before, you have no idea who I am. We sit down every single week with the biggest names in the industry: actors, agents, casting directors, writers, directors, producers of the biggest stuff. And reverse engineer success. Ultimately, if they're a casting director, we reverse engineer how we can get in front of them, how you can audition for them effectively, self-tape for them. If they're agents, how you can sign with them. We talk about, with writers about how they've had their writing commissioned. Directors, how you can get on their radar, for working with them. All kinds of stuff, ultimately. Advice you won't get anywhere else. So come and join the community in 2022. It will change your life, I reckon. Paul says, anyone give me a shout if you want to film some show reel together. Paul, you've got to play casting director though, mate. Don't just choose anyone who goes, yeah, I'll do it. That's something that I think everyone needs to think more of this year. I saw a lot of people, unfortunately, last year waste money by doing show reel scenes with people just because they were prepared to split the cost with them, as opposed to going, right, who do I really need for this scene? Who's a really freaking great actor? And who would really complement the scene so that, we both stand out, we're not in the same casting type or something like that. Be really, really conscious of who you work with this year, so that you get the best scene possible. because otherwise, I saw people, settle for anyone just so that they had someone to do a scene with. But we've got so many talented people within the acting in this community. Those people who do get in touch with you, Paul, if that's the case, just make sure you. It sounds brutal, but you've got to watch their show reel and go, do I really want to work with this person? Like, it just sounds harsh, that, doesn't it? But, that's just how you've got to be, You've really got to go, is this person going to make me stand out and give the best performance I can? And what a lot of people do as well, and they don't realise, it's a bit weird. It's almost like, I don't know if this is even subconscious, but I've seen some actors, and it seems like they've purposely got someone who's a bit shit so that they'll stand out as a better actor in that scene. And it's the worst thing you could possibly do. You want to employ, well, if you pay for the whole scene, it's not really employing, is it? But if you're going to pay for the whole scene, you're going to let an actor come and just do it with you, and they'll get the footage from it for their show reel. You've got to choose the strongest actor possible. Try and find someone who you think's better than you. Because one, it's going to make you raise your game because the bar's higher. And say, for instance, Chris Stone always talks about this. If you had to play scared and the person opposite you couldn't play, you had to play terrified, right, Paul? And the person opposite you couldn't play terrifying, then you're going to look like you're faking being scared, because it's like, well, that person's not even scary, what you're doing. The more terrifying that actor is, because they're a good actor, the more terrified you will look. It will sell your performance for you. And you're going to look great. So, like, please, when you're doing showreel scenes this year, guys, don't just get your mate involved. I know that sounds a bit harsh, but, like, if they're not the best person for the job, don't employ them for the job, because you're just going to waste your money. Get someone who's better than you if you can. I love it when I go on set and I'm working with, a really big actor, and I'm like, right, I've got to bring it today because I'm working with this person and I've grown up watching them and they're brilliant. And, and I don't get to do that enough. I need more auditions, but, when it happens, it's amazing. I remember I'd grown up idolizing Peter Kay in Phoenix Nights. I was just one of my favorite. Him and Ricky Gervais, just like two of my favorite comedians ever. And I know I worked with Ricky at one point. It's not happened yet, but I had that same thing with Peter Kay. I was like, I know at some point I'm going to work with Peter Kay. And then this role came up in something called Cradle to Grave that he did, a Danny Baker biopic. And I got to spend 2 days with Peter Kay. And it was just freaking incredible to go, holy shit. Like, I've grown up watching you. You've been a hero of mine. Now I get to, on a level, work with you properly. Scenes with just me and him. And it made me raise my game, though. I thought, I can't be shit. Like, I've got to be the best I can be here because, he's really funny. Like, for him to look even funnier, I need to bring my part to the scene that's going to, help the joke pay off. I was always the butt of the joke in that. Basically bullied by Peter Kay and his gang for 2 days. But, I had to really raise my game because they were so good. So always try and strive to just, work with people who you think it's not better, like they're a better person than you, but they're just more experienced than you, or you just love their work or whatever, and you just think they're, more experienced, more accomplished than you are. But Paul, I look forward to seeing your showreel scene, mate. Let us know what you end up doing in the end. And Josh says it's just exciting not knowing what the next day will have in store for you. For all you could get that self-tape or that call tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. Good segue, Josh. With Mr. Chris Hitchen. He's going to be back tomorrow night for all members of ActsOnThis.tv, 7:30 p.m. Normally till 9, but it'll probably go on a bit longer because me and Chris can just talk forever. And we're really going to be diving into looking after yourself this year, mentally, your mindset, your psychology, developing tenacity, having, the confidence to go out there and ask for what you want, knowing when it's appropriate to step back, knowing when it's appropriate to go all in. Chris describes the industry as like a casino. And he knows when he's going to throw all of his money in and go big on that bet, all or bust, or to step back and actually walk away from the table. Because anyone who's been a bit of a gambler, I used to go to the casino a lot of weeks as a mid-20s guy on nights out in Manchester. Sometimes it was hard to walk away from the table because you get more competitive. The more you'd lose, the more you'd want to throw back, the more you'd risk, and then you'd end up leaving really, really unhappy because I'd just been like, I just lost 500 quid tonight. That was before I had any money as well. I remember one night, oh God. Honestly, literally about 500 quid. And I put it on a credit card. Really bad advice. Never, ever gamble with money you don't even have, right? Never mind this gambling with money that you can't afford to lose. This was money that I couldn't not just afford to lose. I didn't even have. I borrowed off Barclaycard. I was just really drunk, and my mate Adam was playing roulette, and we kept losing on red or black, and I kept going, it's all right, mate, we'll double up. Before I knew it, I'd lost 500 quid. One of the worst nights of my life financially. Don't do that. Sometimes in the acting industry, you'll feel like you're just losing. You keep going in and in and in. Sometimes you need to just walk away from the table for a bit. Just go, it's just not my moment tonight, or this week. I'm going to have a week off, 2 weeks off. I'm just going to chill. Just going to forget about this industry for a bit so it doesn't break you. But here's a little trailer of what we're going to be chatting about with Chris tomorrow night. He's such a dude, obviously starring in the biggest stuff like out there right now. You will see him in Trigger Point right now on ITV. This is what we're going to be doing tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Actors, are you struggling a bit with your mindset right now? Do you feel like you're hitting your head against a brick wall and maybe you're thinking of giving up on your acting career? If you need a real boost right now, I want to invite you to our next actonthis.tv live mastermind session. It's taking place at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, the 8th of February, with this legend here, star of Ken Loach's BAFTA-winning film Sorry We Missed You, BBC One's 4 Lives, and ITV's Trigger Point, an actor who gave up 5 times before he made it, Mr. Chris Hitchen. Chris, what are we going to be covering on Tuesday night, mate?
Well, I think it's important to have a look at the formula of how the industry works. Looking at it, I treat it like it's a casino. So sometimes if I know that we're in the moment of a peak where there's going to be plenty of jobs, I just go all in, and I basically have a don't give a shit attitude. Yeah. Then if it's in a trough in that particular type of year, then I just chill out. I just get back to being myself, so I don't feel as burnt out, and I pretty much don't care about things. Go and do something else. You can't hammer this constantly for 12 months, for 10 years flat, and think you're going to get every job. If you're going to do that, you're going to end up with some serious problems. You've got to know when to just walk away from stuff and when to jump in.
I love it. So we're going to focus it a lot on mindset and basically just making sure that you look after yourself this year. You go all in when it's necessary. You have a little break when it's not. And one guy who just knows all about this and now literally is in every show on TV is Chris, and he's been through this where he has walked away for a little bit, and the industry has dragged him back in. If you want to get involved, get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details of this session and every session. We do this every single week with the biggest names in the business. And Chris, to finish up, bit of pressure on you. 5 seconds on why actors don't want to miss it.
It's really important to know when to take care of yourself, because if you're burnt out, you're no fucking good to anybody.
I love it. So make sure you are good. Join in this session at actonthis.tv/live. actonthis.tv/live. Come and get involved. We got some incredible sessions coming up as well. We've got Chris tomorrow night. Next week, we've got our first showreel surgery live of the year, where we look at 5 actonthis.tv members' showreels. Chris Stone, in my opinion, the best showreel producer in the UK, critiques those. If you want to get your showreel, absolutely on point for this year, come and join us for that. We have got, so that takes us into March, I think. Then March, we've got some great actors. We've got people like Faye McKeever jumping on. We've also got I don't know if I should give this away. Basically, we've never had anyone from the Coronation Street casting department on actonthis.tv before. That's happening in March. So if you want to get in at Corrie, you can learn all about that. We've got director Phil Barantini coming back to talk about his 4 times BAFTA-nominated film Boiling Point with Stephen Graham. There's just loads of stuff going on. There's never been a better time to get involved, basically. But yeah, this session tomorrow night with Chris, I just know is going to be great. Chris sort of comes across as the Jack the Lad kind of, sort of the proper geezer type. But he's so turned on when it comes to psychology and mindset. It's insane, some of the stuff that he was talking to me about today. Like, he's really, really high level thinking when it comes to, how you approach this industry and the business. He is so business orientated when it comes to the acting industry. Like, he doesn't leave anything to chance. It'll be such an incredible education tomorrow. So come and get involved. Alex says Corrie is on my goals this year. Well, Alex, come and join us for that session. That's going to be, I think, the 3rd of March, mate. We're going to do Coronation Street. I'm just going to confirm that. I've just dropped an email over to the person who is going to be joining us for that. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but yeah, that's going to be happening. Haley says, I'm booked in with Chris Stone in April. Can't wait. Haley, quality decision. I don't get paid any commission off Chris. I wish I did, because I just promote him all the time. But yeah, I just anything you ever hear me promote, guys, by the way, is stuff I've used. People offer me money every week to send emails out to the email list that acts on this, or to mention things on broadcasts like this, headshot photographers, show producers, anyone in the industry, workshop providers. I never do it. I just I probably leave a shitload of money on the table, really, but I don't want it, because I'll only ever promote what I use, because my reputation is worth way more than anything else. So if you ever hear me say, oh, this person's good, it's because they're good, and I probably use them. So, yeah. Hey, Chris Stoney's great, Haley. You'll have a really good time. Nat says, booking new showreel scenes for hopefully later this year. Good on you, Nats. Joe says, would you apply to up north if you are south-based and sound south? What do you mean, Joe? What up north? An agent? Because yeah, absolutely. You know, there's northern agents who look after actors who are based in the south, because they're, you know, they can get you auditions in the south. They're just as connected to the south as they are the north. You'll find if you live in the north, on a lot of the northern soaps like Corrie and Hollyoaks, sometimes they want to use local talent because they don't want to pay for travel. That's just a thing. You know, now and again for some of the smaller roles. The bigger roles, it doesn't matter. You know, but that might be, you know, the case. And generally, northern actors, northern agents are a little bit more connected personally to northern casting directors. Just because they go out with them to the theatre and stuff like that. You know, they won't be able to get down to London quite as often. And if you're talking about Corrie, yeah, God, absolutely. How many people, how many different accents do you hear on Coronation Street, Joe? So many. You know, European, Scottish, Southern, Northern. I can't, you know, there's so many different, it's such an eclectic mix of characters on Corrie. Definitely, everybody should be letting every casting director in the industry know that they exist. There's plenty of work out there for people. Don't count yourself out of anything, really. You've got to be in it to win it, Joe. Definitely. Right, we've got 1 minute left. Where did tonight go? Have I played everything out, or what I play? I have played everything out, but bloody hell. Right, well, that went really fast, guys. I don't know. We just chatted a lot about dating tonight, didn't we? Let me know if you want to come speed dating and act on this actors speed dating event. Let me know if you want to do that. Drop me a tweet at Act on This TV. Maybe we'll arrange that for some time this year. I'm not going to be part of that. That's just I'll just host it. I think that'd be a good laugh. If people are single and want to date other actors, is it? I mean, that's another thing. Is it always good that actors date actors? I have practically always dated actors, but I don't know if that's the right thing or not. Is it just, you know, is it a recipe for drama because you both think that like you're living in an episode of Line of Duty or Hollyoaks? Who knows? Joe's happy to try speed dating. And Alex says Ross the love guru. Mate, I am absolutely not the guru. 100%. Honestly, I feel like I've got it good this time, but my history is not always great, Alex, to be honest with you. Indra's tried dating another actor. How did it go, Indra? Good or bad? How did it go? Josh dates an English teacher. There you go. Well, she can look over your scripts for you, Josh. Make sure you've got them down, I'm sure. It's funny, isn't it? It's just funny. We'll maybe do that. dateonthis.tv. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you then, folks. Thanks so much for being here. It really means the world. Oh, do go over as well to the actonthis.tv YouTube channel and just let me show you this video. So Petch made a video that's just absolutely freaking superb. In fact, shall I just play it you now? I want you to go and watch it, though, because it'll get the views up and Petch will be happy. If you go to YouTube and just search for Act on This TV, all one word, you'll find our YouTube channel. You might not even know that this existed. I'd love it if you went and subscribed, though, because then it just means that every video I upload isn't just pointless. Where am I? Web browser. Here it is. There's a little video there where I tell you why you should join Act on This at the top as well. But can you see this video here? It says, one thing every actor needs to know. This is a mashup of basically the last 2 years' worth of advice that guests on Act on This.tv give us at the end of a session. I always ask a question saying, what's the one thing you wish every actor should know? And some of the biggest names in the industry have given us that answer. Well, over 70 people, basically, in the last 2 years. And Petch did a mashup where he put together that advice in a beautiful video. I'm going to play it you now. It's a 10-minute video, but stick around if you want to watch it. You don't have to. You can go and watch it on YouTube in your own time. But the feedback on it's been amazing. Some people have said, "Oh my God, I get emotional when I watch it. I've cried and shit." So I'm going to play it for you now. Let's end on this, and hopefully that'll give you that mindset boost that we spoke about before. To make you go and kick ass this week. If you're not feeling great, just know that tomorrow's a brand new day, brand new chapter. And like Josh said before on it, anything can happen. Anything can happen this week. And please expect it. I want everybody genuinely to start expecting good things to happen. I do feel sometimes, and I don't know what it is, I'm not like woo-woo, but I do feel on an energy level, sometimes you've got to allow energy to flow through you. And I think actors and fear around the job and the industry can just block you somehow. I don't know the physics behind it, but I just feel sometimes like when I let go, good things just happen, when I just allow things to happen. So do expect good things to happen this week. So I'll end on this video. It's 10 minutes, but it's a cracker. Let me know in the comments if you're sticking around. Let me know what you think of this video. I'll still read the comments as this video is playing out. Go and watch it on YouTube. Go and share it from YouTube if you can. This is the one thing that every actor should know, and I hope I will see you tomorrow night with Chris Hitchen. Going to be a cracking session at onthis.tv/live if you want to get your membership and get involved. Until then, love to you all, amazing people. I will catch up with you soon. Bye for now. Over the last few years, I've interviewed over 70 of the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, directors, and producers in TV. I asked them all, what's the one thing every actor should know? Here's what they said.
Just don't expect it to be easy, because it's really not. Just be prepared for the tough times as well.
Be a bit more confident, a little bit more confident to say, like, to a director, how about I try it like this?
Don't overthink that thing that you've done in the room or that you've said or whatever it is. Just kind of, once you've left the room, park it.
Yep.
And just walk away and just forget about it.
As soon as you've done an audition, forget you've done it. That I had to learn to do early on.
Don't fear us or the process, and always leave in the room. I know you can't do it in the room with the self-tapes, but always leave the audition there. Move on. Don't kind of fester over it and think about it.
A few things. Firstly, you do you. It's a long game. And if we bring you in the room, it's because we think you're good.
Every audition you go to, we want you to get the job. We want you in that moment to be the one that gets this.
The people on the panel want you to be good. We really want you to be good. No one is against you. Don't come into the room thinking, oh God, don't worry about it. We all want you to be good.
Prepare more, to worry less, and to know that the casting director wants you to be good. And we are just here to help.
The only people that are not going to make it to where they want to make it to, wherever that may be, is because they're not persistent. And yes, there may be loads of reasons why you can't stick to it, right? But if you can stick to it, there is a payoff.
If I was to give any kind of advice to any young actor, or not even young actor, just any actor, is do your work, because you need to do the work in order to make it look like you don't do the work.
Nothing beats good work ethic.
Do your homework, do the hard graft, do the stuff you need to do before you even get on the gig.
Be better tomorrow than you were today, even if you were brilliant today.
Make it about the work and not about the success.
You can have it all. You can. The only thing to stop you is you. Nothing can stop you. You see a fucking obstacle, kick through it, climb it, smash it up, fucking burn it, get through it. The only way out is through. You can have it all.
Be happy, you'll work more.
Don't stress. It's like you're going to enjoy the ride so much more if you're relaxed.
Listen more to the daring side than the devil on your shoulder saying don't do it.
Always remember why you decided that you wanted to be in this industry, and I don't think we're told enough to remember why. So every day when you wake up, just remember what it feels like when it feels good. Because I think you'll agree that when it's not going so well, it's really shit and it hurts. But my God, when this industry, when your work is going well, when you get that call that says they want you, there is not a feeling on this earth that compares to it.
No part is worth robbing yourself of years worth of happiness now.
The industry is the way that it is, and you are what you are. How can you make it
so that this industry, whether it's what you wanted it to be or not, is something that you can take joy from in some form. And if you can't get joy from it, take a break.
Be kind to yourself. Look after your mental health more than anything. That's vital. Enjoy life. There is more to it than this fucking industry. When it's not fun, change it.
Just take good care of yourself. You're a human being, so take good care of yourself. Make sure you're happy. Make sure you're together and well and at peace.
It absolutely makes no difference to you whatsoever if someone else is doing well or badly or whatever. It makes absolutely no difference. So you can take joy in someone else doing something good.
Don't watch anyone else's journey. You know, your journey is your own. And the sooner you can let go and celebrate other people's success, the sooner you're going to be able to achieve your success.
People put on social media the character that they want you to think they are. And that involves all the success and all the joy and all the happiness. And that can have a massive effect on the people reading it. But just remember that that's not always the truth.
Don't be shy. Be curious and just ask questions of people. They love it more than you'd ever imagine.
You need the people around you can just ask the right questions and just get on with being an actor, and a good one at that.
How privileged we are to be in a world and a society that entertains and makes people think and makes people happy and makes people smile and makes people sad and makes people cry. How wonderful, what a privilege it is to be part of that. And I think it's really important that we never lose sight of that, no matter how shit it is, how much shit the world is and how shit we feel our contribution to the industry is.
Kind of look after each other a bit, really.
Support your mates, look after each other, and support and collaboration is what this is all about.
We're all in the same boat. Casting directors, producers, directors, makeup artists, everything. We're all just trying to make it work.
Everybody is the same and everybody worries about whether they're making the right decisions from the top to the bottom of the industry.
We're all thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
We're all wondering if the other person thinks we shouldn't be there. You know, the best thing to think is we're just human.
Casting directors are nervous, directors are nervous, producers are nervous. We're all fucking bags of nerves. But what we all have to do is learn to manage them.
We're all learning. Sometimes you learn from getting things wrong.
Being kind isn't a weakness. If kindness is at the core of what you're doing, then you'll never go wrong, will you?
It's just about being a nice person and showing up and being good and not misbehaving and just being nice to have around.
No one's better than anybody else. So when you know, if you're lucky enough and you get any sort of theatre telly job, to treat everybody that you meet the exact same.
Believe in yourself. That's what I want to give you guys in the industry. That's one thing. Believe in yourself.
Just bloody believe in yourself, because there's no reason why you shouldn't. Just go out there, believe in yourself, be confident, trust your judgment, and one day it will happen. It's going to happen.
Just know who you are, because this industry will try and change you. It will try and say you're not good enough. You know what you can do and what you bring to the table. So just in the words of Mufasa from The Lion King, remember who you are.
You're fine. You don't have to change yourself. But being yourself is one of the hardest but most rewarding things that you'll ever get to do.
Your face is perfect for somebody. You know, you are every individual, and it's important that you mustn't try to be anybody else.
Have confidence in your own ability. It's a precarious, scary profession at times. It's overpopulated, but there is space for you. There's a room for you to show the gift that you've got. And it's about holding on to your own talent and persevere and keep moving forward, and things will happen.
Have the confidence in yourself and be proud of your work and who you are as an actor, and don't kind of feel you have to fit the mold of someone else or something else or anything like that. You know, This is your career. Be selfish in a kind and polite way. But, you know, you got to work for yourself.
Do your best and try and be as realistic as possible about what your best is. Know that your best is probably not Liam Hemsworth's best right now. You haven't had that number of auditions. Your best isn't Idris Elba. You haven't had A, B, and C. Your best is your best. Try and do that. And outside of that, and once you've done your audition with that best, just leave it behind as much as you can.
Don't worry too much about everybody else is doing. Just, practice your craft, get your stuff together, get your ducks in a row, as you'd say, and just concentrate on what you want to do and where you want to be.
Believe in yourself, believe in what you do, and be just really kind of empowered by that, and try not to worry about what other people think, because they'll always have their own opinions.
If you're going in the room for a job, you've got just as much chance of getting that job as any other person there. You're in that room because somebody thinks that you can do it.
Don't let other people measure your worth. It's not up to anyone else. They don't get to decide whether you're good enough, whether you should have something. You decide. You are the only version of you.
There might be 10 people who can play a part, but you are there's only one of you. And based on that, you have to go, that's a gift.
Be yourself. I don't mean as an actor when you're acting, but when you go and meet people, present yourself.
So many people, I've mentioned this before, tape, come in, even write an email, already saying, I am not good enough, I am not worthy. Yes, you are. That's why you're here.
Every audition is a chance for you to practice your craft. So embrace it and enjoy it. Do what you love. Don't do things just for the sake of it. Do things because you love it.
Your mind is the strongest thing that you have as a tool, whether that be an actor or not an actor. And if you use that tool to your advantage, then you can put yourself in any situation and compete with the best.
That Ross Grant has the best arms.